Well, y'all, we're not in Tennessee today. Drove around to a couple of places that would normally fish, and it just didn't look good, or people were just crowding it. So we drove a little ways down the road to North Georgia to a creek that we fished in one of the Greenway series videos last summer. And we want to see what we can do. We've got about an hour to fish, and I will take any fish that will bite right now. I need videos bad. Well, the first spot there had some promising bites, but nothing really committed. And there's something else on this creek that, if they're still here, I'm gonna grab a couple of them. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to fish a lot of this. Ooh, we got a visitor right down there. Big old heron. But yeah, this creek is only maybe 10 miles from my house, and I kind of forgot about it. But it is what it is. Not a lot to offer as far as fishing goes. I'm tangled up in sawbriar vines or something. I don't know what they are. They hurt, that's all I know. It'd be a nice little creek to wade, that's for sure. But I would prefer this creek being up a little bit higher if I was going to wade it. Ah, there they are. Pawpaw fruits. They're a lot smaller than what they were last year, so I also don't really smell them. Last year these things were like super ripe, and you could smell them 100 yards away. Hard as a rock too, so I'm guessing they're not ready for eating. Okay, so there is a couple of fish holding out in this real high current stuff right here. Oh, that is not one of them. Oh, we got a fish. Well, we ain't skunked. My work schedule and the weather and all that, it's been a hot minute since I've even felt a fish. Little red breast sunfish, shell. The last time that I was down here and fished this little pocket, everything that I got bit by was little microscopic green sunfish, which I would literally take a bunch of microscopic green sunfish instead of these stupid snags like I've been getting underneath this bridge. There we go. Fish. What do we have? Is it what I think it is? I think it is, and it's a dang pretty one at that. That is one just gorgeous Coosa bass. These things are some of the prettiest of the bass species. You cannot tell me that is not a pretty little fish. And they got just as much attitude to match the look. That right there brightened my day a little bit, because I've drove to, I think, 3 spots, something like that so far. And one spot had a bunch of people in it. It was just not worth stopping at. I stopped and fished the first spot, and it was just a bad spot all the way around. I'm getting hit by something over there. And, oh, shoot, I had one. But yeah, the first spot that I actually stopped and fished, nothing. It was just Snag City. And I honestly only gave it about 10 casts before I said the heck with it and left. Ah, darn it. Alright, you know what? I'm getting quite a few bites over there. Probably from something way too small. So we're going to take one of those legs off my trout magnet and put it in my pocket instead of littering. Let's see if that helps. You'll have to excuse it since we're down here on the side of the highway, really. But little Coosa bass, they like spots like this, you know, quite a bit of current, deeper pockets, and they are just as aggressive as you would ever imagine. Like they don't get much more than about 6 or 8 inches long, but they have so much attitude. But little places like this, even they're just a couple of inches deep, are prime spots for, you know, micro little crankbaits like the Strike King Bitsy Minnow, whatever it is, or the Rebel TNR, which Rebel TNR is actually a little bit too deep a diving for a spot like this, but they would work. You know, little inline spinners, 80th, 64th ounce jig heads, which is what I'm using now as a chartreuse 64th ounce jig head. All right, well, I guess we're gonna head on back down the creek a little ways, see what we can make happen. Actually, we're gonna try to slip in right here since it's fairly shallow, because there's a little pool down here that I would like to cast into. All right, let's try to not fall and get over here on this high spot. I wasn't exactly planning on wading today, but it looks like it's gonna happen anyway.
Oh, that one puckered up my butthole.
I've got a really, really good hit right there, just underneath these limbs. More than likely, just great big shiners, which I would be okay with that if I can catch them. Because I just want to catch a fish or some fishes. All right, we've got a little pocket right here next to me that's got some fish in it, but having to shoot into it. Hey, I got that one. Somehow, it's green sunfish that is about the same size as my bait. Let that one go. Again, I am after whatever I can get on a hook. I don't care if it's little micro stuff like that or anything bigger, doesn't matter. And we got something else. What are you? Same thing, just a little bit bigger. See, these right here are just fun. Little green sunfish. They have a appetite bigger than their mouth. Ooh, that one hit with a little bit more authority. Not much bigger, but it works. Another fine specimen of a redbreast. Monster. El Gigante. My pictures will be a lot clearer if I'd wipe this fuzz off of my lenses. I had like 2 on that cast right there, but they both just came off. This is a prime example, like this little spot right here, prime example of a spot that would be good for like a 4-6 or a 5-foot rod. This 6-6 is just a little bit long, and I am lucky to have gotten that one back, because that wrapped over about 94 limbs. But yeah, this 6-6 is just a little bit on the long side. Hey, we got something. Barely. It's a little green sunfish. I'll let that one go. He was kind of hooked close to the eye. Alright, let's climb back up here on this rock. Drain my shoes a little bit, because these are also my work shoes. And I got work tomorrow, and they're soaking wet. Oh well. That is what made that awful racket just a second ago. There's a freaking beaver coming up the creek. Now, I don't feel like fighting with a beaver, so we're going to get out of here. You know, I'm glad these shoes can be put in a washer and dryer, because they're full of sand. And I really don't want to deal with that all day at work tomorrow. I'm gonna cast around a couple more times up here and see if there's anything, but that beaver is still, oh, something was there. That beaver is still swimming around down there. And there is something. Dude, look at this green sunfish. You cannot tell me that is not a pretty fish. No, 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 I got to look at those freaking colors. That is one pretty fish. Let's get it back. This is why I like these little panfish and ultralight style fishing more than, you know, big bass and stuff like that. You don't see colors like that on everything else. Okay, now let's. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, that one puckered up my butthole.
Whew. That one will pucker your butthole up. I've slid on that rock like 3 times today. But anyway, what we're using today, really overkill for what we're doing, is a 13 Fishing Defy Silver 6.6 ultralight fast Shimano Sedona, the older model, 1,000 6-pound braid. Used to be one of my favorite ultralight rods, and it still is. I just don't use it as much anymore. But got it down to a, I believe, 4-pound fluorocarbon leader, 64th ounce chartreuse ball head jig off of Amazon. These are the Tamora fly tying jig heads with a trout magnet and 1 leg cut off of it. And yes, I still do have my tagline on there because my cutting tool is in my backpack, and it apparently doesn't matter to the fish because we've caught however many so far. Now let's try to get back across here without falling. Now might I add, these Skechers that I'm wearing are not exactly slip resistant. So yeah, when you find a big flat wet rock, you might as well be trying to skate uphill on ice with rollerblades. I sat here for probably 30 minutes when I got here debating on whether or not I wanted to fish, or at least fish this, because I hadn't been down here since last summer. And I didn't know what the water looked like, how deep it was, and all that. I sit there mostly because I was kind of bummed out because fishing has been rough lately and work has been invading on that fishing time and making it so much harder to keep up a 3-day-a-week video schedule. And yeah, you know, I can throw in some older videos to keep that schedule going, but I'm trying to not do that. Mostly because I know people are going to get sick of it at some point, but, you know, there's 2.5 billion people on this platform. Not everybody has seen those videos. So if I upload some older videos to, you know, keep that schedule going, if you don't want to watch older videos that I've already played before, don't watch them. I don't care. That's your choice. Well, don't look like we're gonna get that one back. That was right where I was getting hit by something quite nice. So we're gonna go down here, re-rig, and see if we can drag something out of the lower part of this creek, which ain't much. There's not a lot down there. All right, we're re-rigged. I'm gonna go across this just a little bit because there is a calm pocket on the other side of this sandbar, and it looks to be slightly deeper. There might actually be something in there. Well, I got one bite out of there, but I immediately snagged. Maybe I got that back. I did. Well, so much for that spot. No, one thing's for sure is the skeeters are meaner than snot down here in Georgia. Of course, then again, you know, a Tennessee fan down here in Georgia, it don't ever really go that well for the team or the fan. Well, a couple of bites along this little stretch of the creek down here from little shiners and whatnot, but that's about it. I'm kind of surprised to see this. Like right here used to be all kinds of grown up. Used to not even be able to get to where I'm standing. But typically in little creeks like this, they're super, super shallow. Most of the time you're just going to see a lot of shiners, little micro panfish, things like that. You know, the occasional decent sized little bluegill or mini bass or whatnot. Hey, you know what? We're going to give it just a couple more minutes and call her quits, because this massive beast took entirely too long to get. I mean, that's just funny. So actually I need to screenshot that, or another photo for my logbook plus one, because I didn't do one for earlier. Hey, there we go. What do we got? Another greenie. Another real pretty one too. Got it on that chartreuse head with a bulldog color trout magnet. Another super pretty fish. Just cast it right along that log right there. I mean, just on the edge of it. That right there is the definition of a true creek fish. The little green sunfish. Well, y'all, I believe on that one we're going to call her quits. Didn't catch anything spectacular besides those just tremendously colorful green sunfish and the Coosa bass. Those are, like I said, some of the prettiest fish you'll ever catch. You know, along with the long-eared sunfish and the red breast when they're in full spawn colors. But yeah, it's been rough here lately. My work schedule basically follows as this: close your eyes, open a calendar, and throw darts at it. And that's just pretty much how my schedule lands. Unfortunately, it's not my decision, so ain't much I can say there. But it's more money to spend on fishing stuff, which is good and bad. But anyway, we caught fish. That's all that matters. Again, nothing huge or spectacular. I was just glad to get back out and catch a couple of fish, because I'm on long stretches of work where I don't have a day off to deal with fishing. So anyway, it's starting to get dark. Hope you like the video. Check out all the links in the video description if you want to support the channel. Anytime you buy something through those links, helps me out and supports the channel. Again, hope you like the video. We'll see you in the next one.